everyone. You are once again up front with Frank Rothstein on Sky's Crescent Radio. We're sitting here doing things a little differently today. One is I'm sitting in a darker room. Sitting with me, as always, is a woman who appreciates good lighting, being that she works on stage, is, of course, Jade Zabrick, and who made a nice comment about the darkness of my room. So I said, since everyone knows I am a flashlight nut, I do come prepared. I am ready for action at all times. Yes, I'm not a high-tech guy, but one of the things I do like in life is being able to do things when others can't. And looking at Jade, I could tell by what's on her desk, she can't do this right now, but I could. And for those of you who can't see me, I'm shining a flashlight on my head. Well, it's been always another interesting week. Not everything has to be earth-shattering. I mean, we have a week without bombs dropping. We had a lot of sports going on. We had a lot of that. First and most important is, well, the Mets lost today. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Washington Nationals. Very sad. But we're coming home. Going home to Citi Field in Queens, where you get to hear that famous sound of, because only the Mets have "Let's Go Mets" to that sound. No one else. It has been me looking for odd end stories this week to talk about. Why not? Okay, the first one is, I was talking about this. Let's see. We haven't been in a studio now in about, 14 months? 15 months? Something like that. It was like it's like mid-March when this happened. So yeah, it's been like 13, 14 months, 15 months, yeah. I can't even add anymore. But speaking of not being able to add, a while ago, and this was from 2018, I don't know why Snopes, that's the fact-checking service, brought it up again, but I found this in their print. Unless kids got suddenly smarter, this should still hold true. That in Britain, in England, they were removing analog clocks, the regular wall clock that you've always seen, with the hands, the numbers, and all that stuff, to put in digital clocks. Because kids, not that they couldn't tell time, but under pressure while taking a test, they couldn't figure out time as fast to look at a clock. So they took that out to put it in a digital version so you could see 3, 4, 5. Yeah, kids can't tell. I'm sorry. I know the Snopes rating is mostly false, but pretty much I'm going with mostly true. Kids can't read them. And that, I don't know why that came back up on the Snopes page in my feed, but I liked that story and I felt I would want to read it again, so I did. One thing about this show, I do get to indulge myself. Kids can't tell time. Oh, wow. Which I believe. How did we tell time as kids? We were out all day playing, even after school. No kid had a watch. You just knew. You just knew. You could tell by the sunlight that it was getting dark and it was getting time for dinner. You knew. And where I grew up, big buildings with terraces or older buildings with windows. And every kid, if necessary, could hear their mother calling them. And once in a while, I could hear my mom. Even though we lived on the 12th floor, you could hear. It wasn't often, but if you were close, oh yeah, you could hear. Otherwise, if the kids could not hear their parents, somebody else heard them and they relayed the message along. So we didn't need digital clocks for this one. We had the voice. What else is going on? A lot of odd end stories, again, nothing earth shattering. And since I'm a once a week show without a news service, actually, a lot of times I get some stories right after I get off the air, the night, like an hour after I'm saying, I wish this happened a little while ago. But so I found one of the stories, someone's riding a motorcycle out there. One of the Jeffrey Epstein accusers is suing the estate for $500 million after developing a bone disease. Jeffrey Epstein's dead. However, 27-year-old woman who claims she was raped by Jeffrey Epstein is suing the late pedophile's estate for $500 million, alleging she has a serious bone disease stemming from his brutal attack. Catherine Kaufman, who last year said she was left suicidal after being raped by the billionaire at his Manhattan mansion during a fake model casting when she was 17. Well, the age could be a little right, okay. And she told this to the Sun that she developed. I got to try to pronounce this now. Osteomyelitis after he hit her in the face. A rare and serious bone disease causes deep pain, muscle spasms. All right. And she's also alleging that Hoffman is also alleging that a woman approached her at a horse show in upstate Lake Placid and later called to invite her to Epstein's Upper East Side home, where all this happened. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. She's now 27. Outside of the estate giving her some money to go away, I do not see how she can prove that he gave her a bone disease. So I go again with, as I've said in many cases of stories I've read like this, I believe her. There you go. I believe her. Whatever happened, happened. I believe her. But I don't see how she's ever going to prove that she has a bone disease and that the estate should give her $500 million. But good luck with it. This story is about from what, the 15th, the 16th? Yeah, the 15th. So it's got a few days on it. And yeah, 10 years later. Not even when he was on trial. Now that he's gone. So, okay. Well, good luck with that one. What else is going on? Oh, this is an interesting one. This is about a podcast called Call Her Daddy. And Call Her Daddy has inked a $60 million Spotify deal after host feud at Barstool. Barstool is the service, and let's see. It says you may choose to call her daddy, but now you have to listen to her on Spotify. Call Her Daddy, one of the world's most popular podcasts, is leaving Barstool Sports for an exclusive deal with the streaming service starting July 21st. The three-year Podbuster deal is reportedly worth $60 million, according to Variety, and is the largest exclusive what Spotify has ever made for a woman-led show. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. $60 million. Wow. Alex Cooper's podcast, which made many headlines over former co-host Sophia Franklin's dramatic departure last year, will have all the past episodes available on its new home, along with whatever comes up next for the Daddy Gang. Okay, great. This is giving me an idea. Okay, good for her. Excellent. Good for her. Jade, let's have a fight. I'll sign on to Spotify. I'll give you a good cut. Just sound extra cruel, please. Give me some more things to work with. Okay, so there you go. Call her daddy, and now you can call her rich. Let's see what else is going on in the world. I'm getting a kick out of this. All righty then. What else is going on? Morgan Stanley, as I was, I've been talking the last couple of weeks that everyone's having trouble going back to work in an office and all that. Morgan Stanley, Chief Executive James Gorman has said, if you can go to a restaurant in New York City, you can come into the office. People don't want to go back. They want to work from wherever the hell they want to work. I understand. Okay. They're having it easy. They get to look good from the waist up and wear pretty much nothing if they want from the waist down. Or they get to wear ugly looking slippers or if there's not even a video feed, or only shave on the days of a video feed. Otherwise, you could sit there and do your business through emails standing on your head, if you can. But that is pretty much the position of Morgan Stanley of it's time to come back to work, because sitting at home does not, I do not believe, and obviously others do not believe, leads to the most efficient way of, or the best possible way of creating, being productive. Now, if all you have to do is fill out some forms on your email, or on a website, yeah, you can do that from anywhere. You can do it from the bathroom. But when it comes to actually doing real business, yeah, I personally believe that you should be in a setting where people can bounce ideas off each other. You can not steal other people's ideas, but you can listen to have conversations, and sometimes you come up with one based on what other people are saying. You could watch how other people work and see what you can come up with there. They could watch you work, and you can come up with an idea that they can learn from you, or you could learn from each other, and it does help. At least I believe so. Certainly at Morgan Stanley, they're believing so, and over at that company, they're going through Labor Day. So the U.S. public holiday, yeah, it all ends on September 6th. He's giving you the summer off. And I believe it's time. We've been talking about this for a while. It's time. People have to start going back and getting busy. Let's see. So much so that over at the other finance company, Goldman Sachs, they're welcoming their bankers back to the office with live music and food trucks. Well, all right, that's the way to do it. Get a band, get some food, welcome back everybody, and have an opening day party. I think that's great. That works. That works. That's not a perk. That's just a good way to greet everybody. I think that's fine. I'm sure it costs a decent dollar to do this, but Goldman Sachs can afford it. And everybody who's serving, whether it's music or food, they can all use a payday also. So good for Goldman Sachs, and good for Morgan Stanley, and good for anybody else who's now insisting you get off your ass and come to work, outside of just taking their check or being content to sit home. I don't get that. Not when you have to get things done. By the way, for those of you who are looking at me, this show is brought to you by the Red Cup. The Red Cup, the official cup of every barbecue, frat party, and lazy people everywhere, the ones who do not want to do dishes. The Red Cup. Okay, let's see what else is going on in the world, because there's always something going on in the world. I was reading a story, our president, Joe Biden, recently was doing the world tour, did his G7, spoke with Vladimir Putin, did his first world trip. And over on Fox News, Harris Faulkner has complimented Vladimir Putin for answering questions for longer than Joe Biden before the US president even spoke. So, well, okay, I guess if one guy isn't speaking, the one who did is definitely going over time. And leave it to Fox News to be Fox News. I'm sort of sorry they do something like that. But then again, this would not be the first time. Fox News is special. It says here her observation did not factor in Biden's press conference right after Putin's. So it's not like, pretty much it's not like she clocked them. It's not like she has a video of Vladimir Putin and a video of Joe Biden, and she's not on stopwatches. She's not clocking them for time. She's pretty much just making whatever it is she's making, whatever her remarks are supposed to do. But I guess in this current administration, it will be everything the president does is dead wrong. because this is now a Democrat administration, Democrat administration, and the last time around in a Republican administration, everything the president did was just right. And that's the way it goes. You root, you root for the side you're on. Next time, clock 'em. What else is going on? I'm just bouncing around from story to story today. I'm having some fun with it. Did you know? Wow. NBC is seeking record $6 million payouts for Super Bowl commercials. Yeah, the next Super Bowl. They won $6 million for a 30-second spot. So if you want to hear about Coca-Cola, Budweiser, sneakers, shirts, whatever else, know that every time you see 30 seconds of work, they have made $6 million a pop. And that's what's going on here for that. And wow, I think that's a fortune. But fortunately, the companies that are advertising can well afford it. You may see some of them drop out of it, but yeah. And what is this here? Yeah, it's a 9.1% increase. Yeah, well, too bad. 6 million for a 30-second spot. I don't need to promo that bad. However, we're going to promo the station. Sky's Crescent Radio will be on during the Super Bowl, which is putting together $6 million. And we're going to rent the Clydesdale. And we're going to sit there and promo the show on the Super Bowl. Well, it sounds okay to me. If I got to do a promo, you might as well do it there. What else is going on here? Oh, this is pretty cool. Weird, but cool. I was reading from BBC News. This came out a few days ago. The headline is, Woman Overjoyed at Birth of Great-Great-Great-Grandchild in Edinburgh. Great-grandma is 86. Mary Marshall is 86, holding her 3-week-old multiple G grandchild, Nyla. Sitting with her kids, Rose, 68, Carrie, 35, Crystal is 50, and Tony Lee is 17. So pretty much we're going around the 18, 19 year range of having a kid, and they are working fast in that family. And that looks like a cute baby. Everybody looks happy. And since and I'm going to say only 86, think about it, only 86, given the time spans from when one woman has a kid to the next. Mary Marshall could conceivably still be alive when this baby has her kid. Because unless something's going on that's going to change, they're all having kids, and it all seems to be around the same age range. So yes, Mary Marshall at 86 could conceivably add another great to it and have great times for grandchild in Edinburgh. Well, congratulations to them. Wow. Yeah. Rose Thornburg has 4 children, including, out there, it's not mom, it's mum. Mum of 3, Cheryl. Oh, wow. They do strike fast. I like that. Okay, there you go. It's so down south in America. Okay, well, okay. That's a lot of Christmas shopping, I got to tell you. Well, let's see. Not all is rosy and bright. I also found this on BBC. And why? I pulled this story, not because you never heard of someone killing someone before. I just found this to be so cruel, as she says she didn't mean to hurt him. And it says Corina Smith, 59, attacked 81-year-old Michael Baines while he was in bed at their home in Highfield Road in Neston, Cheshire, on July 14th of last year, when she put sugar into boiling water and then poured it on him. And he died from this. Now, why is What's the significance of sugar in boiling water? That's what the hook that I found in this story. Okay, let's take it in the most basic way. You ever go out for dinner, and we'll say Chinese food because I see it a lot of times in Chinese food, or any meal where you'd see like sticky rice, clumps together, sticky rice, like in sushi, that's sugar in the water that's making the rice. Sugar and vinegar, depending on how they want to do it. But sugar, it becomes an adhesive, and that's what makes the rice. When you see sushi, it doesn't fall off; it sticks together, and that's what she did and poured it on this guy, and claiming she didn't mean to hurt him like that. But wow. So yeah, he got the burns, he got the infections, and he died. And I only brought it up because it just struck me as going so far out of your way. I don't know what this guy did unless he has so much money that she wants to inherit it all. But that is cruel. So anyway, yeah, that's what. If you're ever wondering what makes rice sticky, sugar. Okay, where are we over here? This is from NPR Radio. Yeah, and WNYC's NPR, yeah. Okay, NPR Radio, where are we? The school district erased all holiday names after dropping Columbus Day. This is from a few days ago. And it says Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, Labor Day. It says you may be used to seeing your calendar punctuated by various holidays that occur throughout the year. But on one New Jersey school district's calendar, each one of these days will be listed simply as day off. They have taken away all the names. And it started when the school board in Randolph Township voted to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. Some of the residents were outraged. So the board said that instead it would wipe out all the holiday names from the school calendar while still observing the days off. And what does it say? The overwhelming majority of the township population feel that the township school board grossly overstepped their bounds, and they're completely pushing their own personal political ideologies. And that was what was told to Fox News. Of course, he started a petition calling for the school officials to resign. Well, when I guess people wanted, when the thing about Columbus Day came up, the calendar was changed. And then people were complaining about that. So now you had, on one hand, people wanting it changed, they want to get rid of it. And now you have other people upsetting you because you got rid of it. Well, yeah. So the school board said, "The hell with it, we're getting rid of all of them." Now, for everybody, I guess, who either enjoys saying Merry Christmas or whines about hearing the words Merry Christmas, now it's not an issue in their school board. Just you got a day off. There's something about it that sounds odd to me, but there's something about it I like. You know, the decision of, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to listen to this. So there you go. Now I'll give you, Indigenous Peoples Day doesn't have the same ring as putting a name to it. I mean, whether you like Christopher Columbus or not, at least it had a sort of like a ring to it. Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay, fine. But then if you're running the school board, now you got to hear it all over again to put it back, all these other holidays. And then what's next? What's the next holiday coming up? So, and especially when a lot of it's just people complaining. So I don't know what's going to happen with this story, but all right, another thing to put in the local newspaper. That's what's going on. I was just telling Jade a little while ago The headline, of course, from the New York Post is thousands call for Jeff Bezos to be denied re-entry to Earth after a space launch. Yes, Jeff went up in space in one of his own little rocket ships, and now the people don't want him to be allowed back in. I, okay, well, what would happen if world leaders said we don't want him back on Earth? How would that work out? So, well, anyway, he landed somewhere, and whatever country will have him, he just landed, so he'll be fine. I just got a kick out of that headline. That's all. The story itself isn't all that important to me. Uh, one second. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, there you go. One of the voices I really can't listen to. What's his name? Andy Cohen on Look What's Happening Now. Yeah. Anyway, there's a headline: Kim Kardashian, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, says that the show, which has been around for a long time now, would not be successful without her sex tape scandal. And that's because, and I remember this happening very well, Kim Kardashian did a 2007 sex tape with her then boyfriend, Willie Ray J. Norwood, and it sold like crazy. I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to remember what brought Kim Kardashian to popularity before that could make people want to see, outside of she is the stepdaughter of then Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner. But anyway, she did the tape, and after that, this show was created, mostly by, I believe, by the creativity of her mother, Kris. And what the Kardashians are now worth, and the Jenner kids, Kylie and Kendall, are astronomical. But is she correct in saying that it all started and wouldn't be as successful without her doing that tape? Um, I believe so. I really do. It was the hook that got when you're selling something, you have to have a hook. And that was it. She had this tape. Everybody wanted to see her. And, that was it. So, yeah. So, how many years is this show on now? But there she is, 2007. Yeah. So, okay. I agree. I agree with Kim. What else is going on here? Let's see. We're just drifting around from one story to another. Uh, oh, here it is. A Chick-fil-A employee is calling out the fast food giant for wasting food. An employee of the Georgia-based chain posted a viral video on TikTok of what appears to be another worker tossing away a tray of chicken nuggets into the trash. Uh, on the whole, I believe that one tray of nuggets is not a big issue. But I do believe that if you're throwing away nuggets, fries, bread, meat on a daily basis, whether you say you use it for compost or you just don't need it, I think it could be donated. I think it could be donated. I think that there are plenty of people who could use food, plenty of people who do like Chick-fil-A and just can't afford to go there. I think at the end of the shift or just before the store closes, I think you could easily donate. Or if it's time to rotate the food, like it's sitting there too long and you just want to have a fresher batch, I think it can always be donated. Certainly everyone loves French fries and they got them. And if they're chucking them away at the end, yeah, I think that's wrong. And it's not just one chain. If it's happening at one, it's a big corporate giant. If it's one happening at one location, it's corporate policy. It's probably happening at every location. So yeah, I think that's wrong, and I really do believe that people could benefit from the donated food, shelters. That matter of fact, you want to do something. If you don't want to, if you want to do something, pack it up, send it to hospitals. The staff who's overworked, who's still dealing with all kinds of issues, they could use something to eat also. There's plenty of places that could benefit from Chick-fil-A if all they're going to do is chuck perfectly good food. So yeah, that's how I see it. Oh, another video. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but every last video I come across automatically starts playing, and they're all commercials, by the way. What else is going on here? From NBC News, New York. It's about the Jersey Shore. Atlantic City hopes blaring nightly curfew sirens will help curb surge in youth violence. Okay, this happened from June 18th, a couple of days ago. Struggling with the surge in juvenile crime in Atlantic City, soon will sound sirens each night at 10, marking the arrival of the juvenile curfew prohibiting those under 18 from being on the streets. Good luck to that. First of all, if you got a kid who's not afraid to hurt you, to pull a gun, to do whatever it is they're doing that you're so concerned about, they're certainly not going to be too afraid of a noise, of a bell or of a siren or whatever they're going to use. That's ridiculous. So at 17 and a half, they're going to run home. But at 18 and 18 in one day, they're going to stand there. They're perfectly okay to do it. And this is not going to do a thing, I don't believe, anyway. So maybe come up with a different idea. But if you want to sound an air raid siren, go ahead. Air raid. Teach all the kids how to duck for cover. Something might be landing. What time? Wow, this hour is going pretty quick. I was watching, remember Lou Ferrigno? Former bodybuilder. He played the Hulk in the 1970s on TV. He was the Hulk. The late actor Bill Bixby played Dr. David Banner. And I was watching a video of him last week. He had implants in his ear. He's deaf. And with what he was wearing, here comes the fire trucks. With what he was wearing, sounds like burnt toast. With what he was wearing to hear, he could hear certain things, but not everything. Now we went for the implants, and I'm watching the video of him, and he's hearing things differently for the first time, and he's crying on video because now we could really hear people, which I thought was really incredible and nice. But why I'm bringing up his name is that he's taking a shot at the Marvel Comics universe, put it that way. You know, all those superhero movies you see coming out now. And he's pretty much saying there was no CGI, there was no green screen, there was nothing like you're seeing now in terms of special effects and technology when he played the Hulk. He was a big guy. They got people intentionally who were just smaller than him, and enough to make it look relatively convincing for television. And they painted him green. And he was the Hulk, and it was a good show. It really was. Like I said, the late actor Bill Bixby played his human alter ego, that time David Banner. They changed it from the comic book name Bruce Banner for TV to David Banner. And this show has one, as much as I really do not like using the words iconic, you still hear it every now and then today, which was, there's always that one press guy who seems to know who the Hulk really is. And he's going after Dr. Banner, trying to press him and all that. And one day you see on the steps, Dr. Banner looks at this guy and says, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." That's because he's going to turn into it. So I always remember that show. I liked it a lot. And Lou Ferrigno is pretty much saying, yeah, I didn't have to use that. So, because he was like a 6 foot whatever bodybuilder. Yeah, well, now they just rig it up any way they can. Because if you see the Hulk on film or on television, it's not a person in there. It's strictly a computer simulation. It's a cartoon of sorts. Anyway, so good for Lou Ferrigno. Another video. I don't know if you hear this or not, but I tell you, every site I go to, all I'm hearing is commercials. I don't even know what they're trying to sell me. Okay, so what else is going on here? What else? What else? What else? I like the new term, shrinkflation. 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 Have you noticed how things are getting smaller when you go shopping? Less. Even if the price isn't going up, you're getting less. Shrinkflation. So much so, the perfect example would be, well, there are a few great examples. Everything is smaller. I was in the local grocery, small little place at the counter paying. And I turned around and I looked at Twinkies. They're smaller. They're just getting smaller and there's less cream filling. Look at it next time you go shopping. Look at a jar of peanut butter. Then look at the bottom. And you're going to see when you remember it being flat, now it's pushed in. So even if the price doesn't go up, you're getting less. So whatever batch they make before they put it in the jar, they're getting a lot more out of it than they used to because you're getting less. Look at a bar of soap. It used to be flat. Now, if you look at the bar of soap that used to be flat, you see this at the bottom. A little bit of concave there. Why? Same reason. You're getting less. I remember as a kid, you remember when, well, you have to be old enough to remember this because it's been this way for a little while. We used to get one of my favorite cereals as a kid was Rice Krispies. But whatever yours was. Every now and then they'd come out with a prize inside. And like all kids, rip it open, dig in, look for the prize, then you start having your cereal. That was usually a sticker or something, whatever. No more. Matter of fact, if you look at the box of any cereal for that matter, it used to be filled. Now you're losing about that much off the top. Maybe this much off the top. So when I buy the family-sized box of Rice Krispies or any cereal I want just because I like it, you're really not getting this. You have that wax paper you have to open up, but you're still down here, and they're still charging you as if you got this giant box. And that is what's happening with a lot of things. Matter of fact, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I bought a can of tuna fish. I used to buy the large can. It was a good-sized can. Now, that got shorter. Everything got shorter. The only thing that really can't get too much shorter, like if you buy, like, say, a bottle of something to drink where it says 16 ounces, 32 ounces, they sort of got to give it to you. But for the most part, everything is less. And if it isn't going up in price, which a lot of them do, you're just getting, well, cheated. That's all it is, cheated. I looked at a piece of Bazooka bubblegum, which is now, for me as a kid, what was it, a nickel when I was a kid or whatever? Now it's whatever they cost, and they're half the size. Everything is smaller. One of the things that annoys me the most, I don't know why I make a big deal of this, I am a nut and a purist when it comes to Oreos. My friends love to give me crap for it all the time, sending me one recipe for Oreos or another all the time, which they know offends my general senses in life. Jay, do you have any favorite food that you noticed a change in? So it used to be you bought a sleeve of Oreos at the grocery store, or the big pack which had 3 sleeves, and they were pretty big. Now, if you notice, if you go to the store, that box of Oreos has shrunk. And you know why? You get the same amount of cookies, but not only, if you remember, you used to get the big one for the house on the shelf. At the counter, you used to have that 4-pack of Oreos. I don't know if it was a little blue wrap foil pack. They weren't the same cookie. They were actually smaller and sweeter. There was more sugar, smaller and sweeter. Now, when you open it up, they got rid of the normal Oreo to put in the smaller and sweeter. And none of you can see this, but Jade is looking at me like I'm crazy here. But it's just, and then they came out with, of course, there's also double stuffed Oreos. There's Oreo Thins, which means you're getting nothing. The regular Oreo, which has got less filling than used to be. You have the double stuffed Oreo, which really looks like the old Oreo. And if you want the double stuffed Oreo, that's really double, you have to buy the mega stuffed Oreo, which really offends my general senses. I mean, you can see by looking at me, I do this very carefully. And all I want to do with them is dunk them. That's it. Just dunk them in milk. I don't want to make them into cheesecakes. I don't want to make them into barbecue recipes. And I don't want people putting other flavors inside of them. I remember seeing the barbecue Oreo, the wasabi Oreo, the candy corn Oreo for Halloween. The did I see watermelon flavored Oreo for like barbecue? Either way, stop screwing with perfection. I keep saying over and over, there are two perfect things in the universe. One is the sun and one is the Oreo. As perfect as I am, the Oreo has me beaten out. So that's all I got to say about that. But that is actually what's happening. And I like the term shrinkflation, because even if the prices never go up, you are spending more money for items that you're going to have to buy twice because you're not going to have enough. Matter of fact, I remember as a kid, I talk about this a lot with people. We used to buy coffee in cans, Maxwell House, chock full of nuts, whatever. You bought it by the pound. You can buy it by the pound now if you go out and have it ground up for you in the shop. But at that time, you bought commercial brand coffees, you bought it by the pound. Now, if you look at some of the companies, the pound is now 10 ounces, same price or more, 10 ounces, 12 ounce. It's just not a pound anymore. But you're paying the same, if not more. So now you have to go shopping twice to get just what you need. And that is what's happening. And notice it if you're going out to eat. Pay attention to what you're tasting, because you see a lot of places cutting back, skimping on quality and on portion. I mean, I won't even mention the restaurant, but I get a kick out of one local place where they used to serve the bar steak. The bar steak was roughly, oh, I don't know, this big. It was a healthy size little thing, decent price. Over the years, it just shrunk a little bit more. So I just keep joking with the owner, it's going to shrink so much that one day it'll just be inside out, and he'll be writing us a check to eat the thing. So I'm waiting. But really, pay attention to what you're buying. Check the brands, because if it doesn't matter to you if you eat this brand of it or that brand of it, check the brands and watch the scale. Watch the scale, because not only do prices go up, especially if you go into a counter where they're putting it on a scale, if you're not watching and you order, say, 1 pound, if they go over the pound, they're going to charge you for it. They're not going to take it off. They're going to charge you for it. And you're going to wind up paying more that way. You really will. And just be careful. Watch. Because people are cutting back. People are cutting back on doing a good job. That's what it is. It takes more effort to do a bad job than it does to take a good job. And that's what I'm seeing more and more often. People are willing to do less to make more, and they will screw over their longest, best customers to do it. So be careful. What else am I noticing? A lot of this is one thing I found very odd, mostly because I see it on Facebook, are sale advertisements for all these guitar companies, all these musical companies that are putting their instruments on sale. Then again, it was COVID. People didn't leave for over a year. Nobody needed to buy anything. No one replaced anything. So a lot of companies needing to make up revenue have dropped prices for their instruments. Perfectly good product, but they're looking for ways to make money. So if you are a musician out there, pay attention to the companies where you get your stuff from and see what they got on sale. Speculate to accumulate. You may not need the guitar today or whatever it is you're buying, but if it's at the right price and you can afford to keep an extra one laying around, why not? What else is going on here? Look at this, time is going by. What is this? I read shrinkflation. Remember that word, shrinkflation. Let's just get a laugh at whoever did this. A fake Mona Lisa. A fake Mona Lisa has sold for $3.4 million. $3.4 million. And the line here is that a famous fake copy of Mona Lisa, so similar to Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece that some experts questioned whether the real copy was hanging at the Louvre, purchased it on Friday for $3.4 million. Wow. Selling it at an auction for 10 times its appraised value. Well, I don't even know what the real one, which is probably designated as priceless, but if this, wow, it doesn't even say. If this is worth 3.4 and it looks pretty good, what would the real one go for? Wow. So that's the story. What have I been doing as of late? Well, keeping up with friends, keeping up with family. I was watching a lot of boxing this weekend. Some of it was good. Some of it, now I'm not a fighter, but I did some minor training in with martial arts. But you don't have to be active in the field you're observing to see what's in front of you. I was watching Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of the Mexican legendary Julio Cesar Chavez, who I remember fighting very well. He was a great fighter. His son, who can certainly take punishment as it turns out, is now 35, and he really has had a career worth of time in fighting, is now someone who doesn't really care about what he's doing. He's just in the ring, taking a payday. He lost last night in an 8-round fight to Anderson Silva from MMA, the former champion Anderson Silva, who has a background in mixed martial arts of all sorts, plus regular kickboxing, plus he did boxing early on. And being a multi-time champion, whether he's a real boxer or not, knows what it takes to get ready for a fight, and he came ready. Chavez Jr., yeah, not so much. No, he didn't get knocked out. He took punishment. But clearly this guy has got to know it's time to go home and count the money he's made before he really does get hurt. But it was just, I'm just bringing it up as an interesting thing because I appreciate boxing. Anyway, to let people know, if you'd like to try this on your own, certainly if you can ramble like I do, why don't you write to us at Sky's Crescent Radio, SKYES, Crescent Radio @gmail.com. Tell us what you're thinking, what you'd like to try and do, and someone will get back to you very fast. If you'd like to comment on anything I talk about, it's upfrontfrank@gmail.com. That's easy, upfrontfrank@gmail.com. You can also go to my Facebook page, which is Upfront with Frank Rothstein on Facebook. Leave a comment, ask a question. I'm easy. Sky's Crescent Radio is also on Facebook. That's easy enough. And more immediate, tomorrow, Jade Zabrick and the rest of the gang of the band The Trainwalkers are out and about. They're going public. They're out and about. They're all they got their new everyone's got a new t-shirt. They're all got their stuff. If they're getting their beard ready or they're shaving clean, Jade's doing her nails. They're all restringing the guitars, and they're all going to the recently renovated World Trade Center Oculus to sit there and perform their music for everybody who's walking by, who either wants to rap and sing along, or if there's a beat you can find that you could dance to, do that also. You'll see them roughly 6 p.m. in the Oculus area. I'm not quite sure where exactly. Jade, if you'd like to kick in to tell us where exactly in there they're going to find you.
I think somewhere in the middle.
Is there a food court where people can get a drink?
Maybe. It's a mall.
It's a mall. Okay, yeah. Well, get a drink and watch the gang. As they'll be going to stop walking to sit there and stand still and perform for all of you. So that's tomorrow, roughly 6 p.m. and in the World Trade Center station, the Oculus. And that's good. It should be a nice day. Monday, it's a good day. It's an odd day, but it's a good day. And that is the story with that. Okay, we're pretty much done. just letting everyone know that the show is going on. We can always use your input. We'd like to know what you think. Go to all the many websites that we appear on, whether it's you're going to hear us on iHeart or on Spotify or we are on YouTube. Feel free, please go to YouTube. Look for Skies Crescent Radio. Please subscribe. Please hit a like on your favorite of shows. I'd like one. Hit a like me. It's okay. Hit a like. But really, subscribe. We would appreciate the help. And that is the story. Everyone, I will see you next week when I'll come up with some more nonsense going up around the world. The world needs some nonsense to keep spinning because sometimes you just got to laugh at some of this crap. Some of it is funny. I will see everyone next week. Have a good night. Have a good week. Take it easy.